All right. Good morning, everyone. So as we get started and as people start flowing in, quite a bit to get through today with the pound, today being Wednesday. So we're looking at the pound, dollar, we're looking at the euro pound as well with the news from the UK regarding the CPI number year on year. I think that we're going to see possibly some quite exciting moves across the board. And then we also will talk about the dollar index as well. We've seen some big moves on the dollar overnight. But before all of that, just a quick disclaimer again. Any information shared in this video is not intended to be a trade recommendation, solely the opinion and views of the speaker myself. So remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. So with that said, this is also recorded and uploaded onto YouTube shortly after this call. So if you can't catch on to anything, or if you didn't catch on to anything that I was sharing, or you want to catch the numbers or the exact entry points or stop loss or take profit levels, check out the YouTube video. Check it out a couple of times just so that you catch all the details in there. With that, now looking at the news here on Forex Factory, what do we have up for today? We do have at 3 p.m. GMT plus 8, the pound CPI number year on year to be released was a 5.5, expected a 6. At this point, my expectation, I'm looking at a 6.1, possibly even a 6.2. If we do see a good CPI number, a strong CPI number from the UK, then we might see further strengthening in the pound dollar. We already saw a lot of strengthening over yesterday, a big move on the pound dollar yesterday. We might see further move. Also considering that it might be slightly priced in, I'll give you the analysis shortly from that point on. With that, later tonight, GMT plus 8 at 8 p.m., we do have the Bank of England Governor Bailey speaking together with Chair Powell from the FOMC. That's for the, oops, oh, something's not working here. All right, that's for the virtual panel discussion about the digital world for currencies. So I don't think this will move prices too much from this point. And then annual budget release, not going to move prices for the pound dollar too much. Following on from that, we have spoken yesterday about the Euro PMI numbers, so not going to touch on that. We do have tomorrow on Thursday at 5:30, the pound from the UK manufacturing PMI numbers looking to go from a 58 to a 57, so a slight drop in manufacturing PMI. PMI being the Purchasing Managers Index does give a slight forecast into business activity from the UK. And services PMI looking to go from a 60.5 to a 58. So again, still in the expansionary phase, but dropping slightly. At this level, I don't think this will bring too much of a dampener down to the pound dollar, but something to pay attention to. And then on Friday, not much else for the UK. So you can see, just doing a bit of a cast back into last week, a couple of days ago. That was on Thursday last week, where we saw the Bank of England increase interest rates from a 0.5 to a 0.75%, but we actually saw the voting drop slightly from 9, expected to be 9 members voting for an increase. What we had was 8 members voting for an increase, 1 member voting to hold rates at 0.5%. That slight uncertainty, that slight dovishness, together with the statement, with the slightly dovish statement coming from the Bank of England, what we saw was actually a bit of a priced-in scenario where the pound dollar weakened. Instead of strengthening with a rate increase, it actually weakened because of that voting and the statements coming from the Bank of England. So with all that put together, what we could anticipate on the pound dollar is that it is currently sitting at this, or very close to this 1.33 level. we were sharing with the Traders Club members last night already a scalping trade move up towards that resistance level from that point of 1.3234. So last night we had a live session looking for that retrace back down, didn't happen. So we had one trade on the short term towards that 1.3262 and then also towards that 1.33 level. What could happen here at this point? Not just the CPI number from the UK, look at the dollar index as well. All right, so dollar index here on the H1, I'll switch it over to the H4 time frame. Last night, yesterday, as we were talking about dollar index, we're looking for it to track up towards that 99 level. It came very close. It came towards 98, 93, and then it retraced back down. So we were talking about this last night, for it to track lower, for it to break below that 98.45 level, and it actually did that exactly. Now sitting at this 98.45. Anticipation here is for the dollar index to bounce up, but I think that as a review of this analysis, I think we might see that further or slight move back down again. So I'll extend this across. I think we might see it move back down towards that 98.33 level, or maybe 98.33 level before that rebound back up again. So putting in that arrow there, so I'm looking at a possible move like that back up towards the recent high of 98.80. So about 98.80 at about that point there. Right, so I'll take that one away. So looking at that move there, what we could anticipate is for the EU pound dollar is that, we're going to see that move back towards the upside. With the dollar weakening, we could see this push higher. I'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, we could see this push higher above that 1.33 level. I'm actually looking for that to happen, which would give us a very good trade at 3 o'clock when the CPI number is being released. What you could be looking out for there, I'll move this up, is a buying opportunity, right? A buying opportunity on the pound dollar. If it breaks above that 1.33 level at about 1.33, let's be a little bit more conservative, at about 1.3320, you could have a 30 pip stop loss, a 70, 80 pip take profit level. You're looking at a 1:2.4, 1:2.2 risk reward ratio towards the upside for the pound dollar. So I'll move this slightly towards this point. Oops. All right. So towards this point, with the news being released, we need to see a stronger CPI number, about 6 or 6.1, 6.2. We need to see this breach up above the 1.33 level towards 1.3320. Look for that buying opportunity, 30 pip stop loss, 70 pip take profit, a 1:2, above 1:2 risk reward ratio towards the upside. In the event that we do see it being priced in, you could see this move shoot up. Don't trigger your trade and turn back down. What you could also be looking for is a trade downwards, but this would be a massively counter trend trade. What we saw yesterday for the pound dollar was a move. So yesterday was the 22nd. What we saw yesterday was a move about 150 pip move towards the upside. The consideration is that we might see this being a bit of a priced in scenario. We did see the dollar weaken quite massively yesterday. We did see possibility of this being a priced in scenario. So it could be that it gets resisted at 1.33 and turns back down, but trade the trend, trade the news. It's trending towards the upside. The news, if it's good, could force at 6.1, 6.2, or even a 6, could force the Bank of England towards further rate increases, despite them having done 3 or 4 consecutive rate increases already over the last couple of months. Could force them into further rate increases. which could force a stronger pound dollar. So if it does turn down, I would probably sit out. I would look for, if it does turn down from this point towards the downside, then I would sit out. I would wait for another buying opportunity at this 1.32, looking for it to bounce off 1.32 back towards the 1.33 level again. Same trade idea as what we were sharing. 1.3220, a 30 pip stop loss, a 70 pip take profit. Again, a 1:2 risk reward ratio towards the upside for the pound dollar. So two ways to look at the pound dollar here: pushing up, continue moving, then break above that resistance, look to buy. If it gets resisted at 1.33, look for that big correction, look for that retrace back down towards 1.32, look for that bounce off this support, then buy back up again. So this could be a quick trade or a trade that you have to sit there and wait out quite a bit before looking to buy it towards that trade resistance level of 1.33 again. This could be a two trade scenario: bounce down, buy it up, and then if it breaks above, buy it up again, or a one trade where it breaks above and then you buy it towards the upside. With that said about the pound dollar, what else could you be looking at? You could look at the euro pound. Right? We've been talking about the euro pound a lot since yesterday and also last night, where we had the two trade scenario at that support level. We forecasted for it to break below, to sell down towards that 83 level, the 0.83 level. It's done that, so that's invalid. The buying is invalid already. At this point, if we anticipate that big push up for the pound dollar, then you could see this push lower. However, I'll be very careful with the euro pound to go a lot lower. It's because if I went into the daily time frame, you can see that the last time it broke past this point, it came to about 0.8261 or 0.8260, spike down towards 0.8220, right? 0.8220, and then corrected massively from that point. So a lot of volatility expected below this point, below this 83 level. Just be extra careful there. I anticipate that we might see it drop. So you could be looking for that trade, but not a big one, right? Not a big trade. I'll put in a line there. About that point there. So if it does break below, I wouldn't set, this wouldn't be a set and forget kind of scenario. Look to sell below 8285. You could have a 30 pip stop loss, about a 60 pip take profit level, but this could be very, very fickle. As it could be a very fickle trade. It could drop, sit around there, bounce back up, or it could drop straight. I wouldn't expect too much beyond this point. I would say only if the pound dollar shoots up, you could have two trades running at this point. Size it down a bit, enter the pound dollar towards the upside and the euro pound towards the downside. But bear in mind, these are correlated trades. So if it swings back, you could see both of the trades swinging back towards against you at this point. So, pick and choose. I would say pound dollar for sure. Euro pound could be a likelihood, but you want to see what happens to the euro dollar as well. So just doing a quick recap on the euro dollar here. We talked about the euro dollar moving lower yesterday. Didn't do that. It's actually looking like it's pushing higher together with that dollar weakness. So, this could cause a bit of a uncertainty on the euro pound as the pound pushes up, looking to push the euro pound lower. Euro dollar pushing higher could cause a bit of a counter move. So we're not likely to see that big move, or we're going to see a short-term big move on the euro pound. So just be a lot, more cautious with the euro pound because of that conflicting move on the euro dollar there. Just a quick recap again with what we shared on the New Zealand dollar on Monday. And also last night, we were looking at that trade towards the downside. And last night we were sharing with the club members a trade towards the upside as it broke above this 69.30 level. We're looking for buying opportunities at 69.46. That's in the money at this point. I think that we're going to see possibly a little bit of a cap on that upward move. Anticipation was for it to move towards that 70.50 level. That was a very big trade of 100 pips. I think that possibly look to get out of this. If you got into that trade, get out at this point. Look for a retrace before another leg up for the Kiwi dollar for further upside, given that we see continual dollar weakness or short-term continual dollar weakness for the dollar index again. All right, so just do a quick check. Dollar index still sitting at this point, looking for that move towards the downside. We could see that push towards dollar weakness, but then overall, I think just be a lot more cautious as the dollar sits at this 98.45 level. We could see a fake break before that dollar strength coming back into play again. So if you have any questions, put it in the chat. If not, it's quite a couple of trades to be had today, especially on the pound dollar, but pay attention to the way the dollar index or dollar strength is working out over the course of the trading session. I think we might see some quite interesting moves today. With that said, take care, trade safe, and we'll catch you again tomorrow for the yen pairs and gold, and also for Traders Club members tomorrow night with another live trading session together. Take care now. Bye-bye.